Hey, it's Tom
and Mike
from Take Time to Travel.
Santorini is an incredible island to visit with so many spectacular sights to see and delicious places to eat. Today we're going to show you some of Santorini's best restaurants, from cheap eats and bakeries to fine dining, traditional tavernas, and hidden gems, to give you some ideas on where to eat in Santorini, Greece. We'll begin in the beautiful town of Ia at one of our favorite eateries called Mia's Restaurant. It has a lovely inside dining room, but we decided to sit outside to enjoy their gorgeous back terrace that had some absolutely spectacular views overlooking the caldera as well as the whitewashed buildings hanging off the edge of the cliff.
To start, we each had an Isa Blue Island summer lager to drink, which was light and refreshing. Then we ordered the set menu lunch, which included some oregano sourdough and caro breads, breadsticks, as well as our choice of starter. Mike had the Santorinian white eggplant tart with cherry tomato confit, salafuti soft cheese, parsley oil, and rosemary. And I got the steamed mussels with local Assyrtiko wine, lemon, fennel jus, and fresh herbs. For our main course, we also had our choice of dish. Mike decided on the red snapper fillet in Jasper with couscous cauliflower, chimichurri, fresh herbs, and lemon zest. And I chose Mia's moussaka, which is a deconstructed moussaka with an eggplant roll stuffed with black Angus beef, crispy potato chips, bechamel, and a beef broth gravy. I'm not sure why, but I struggled getting my first bite. It took me a few attempts, but eventually I got it, and it was delicious. Mike's red snapper was quite tasty as well. After all of that scrumptious food, we took a minute to relax and enjoy the postcard perfect scenery before it was time for dessert, which included your choice of ice cream. Mike got the Greek yogurt flavor and I went with vanilla. We also got tea or coffee and bottled water and some petit fours. We had an incredible meal at Mia's. The view was phenomenal. The service was excellent. The food was delicious, especially that eggplant tart. And we thought it was a great deal for Santorini. But let's keep going. There's lots more to eat on our Santorini food tour.
We'll head through the beautiful streets of Ia to show you a cheaper option that's very popular and has a nice outdoor patio. It's called Pitogyros Traditional Grill House. After about a 15-minute wait, our table on their terrace was ready, and shortly after that, our food was too. I got the pork gyros pita wrap on the right, and Tom chose the chicken gyros pita wrap on the left. Both had tzatziki, tomato, onion, and fresh fried potatoes inside. They were a pretty good size and tasted amazing. We can't decide which one we liked better.
The next place we'll show you is right next door. It's a newly opened patisserie called Phyllon. Heading inside, we noticed that it felt quite upscale, and our eyes were immediately drawn to the mouth-watering pastries that they had on display. We shared the baklava squares with honey, pistachios, and cinnamon, as well as another big piece of Phyllon baklava, filled with layers of phyllo, walnuts, almonds, and pistachios. Both were fantastic, although Mike's favorite was the Phyllon baklava and mine was the baklava squares.
Now we'll walk about 5 minutes through Ia's charming narrow pathways to check out a restaurant with a traditional local menu called Roka, which has a very colorful and inviting open-air terrace. We were given some welcome tarts to start our meal, and then ordered a couple of mythos beers to drink, followed by our appetizer, the Gruyere cheese from Naxos with almond crust, pepper honey, lime cream, and fresh pepper. Then for our main course, I had the homemade smoked pork belly with cedar and thyme, with a glaze and Gruyere puree and sweet peppers. Tom chose the grilled fresh sea bream fillet in lime sauce with spaghetti vegetables and peas puree.
Both of our meals had good portion sizes and were absolutely delicious. Mike especially loved the pork belly. It was crispy on the outside and very tender and juicy on the inside. For dessert, we shared the handmade honey parfait with ice cream, crispy biscuit, fresh bee pollen, and pistachio cream. It was the perfect way to end our fantastic meal here at Roka. But let's keep going on our food tour.
we'll take a scenic couple of minute stroll over towards our next place, which also has a picturesque terrace called Karma Greek Restaurant. Their back patio is filled with greenery, and the brightly colored floors match the cushions and flowers. We were happy to get a table out here for our dinner reservation, and started with a couple of Mythos beers to drink, followed by the traditional Cretan Dakos, which is a Cretan bruschetta with fresh tomatoes, feta cheese from Crete, and olives. We also got the crispy fried calamari, with squid rings coated in a spicy semolina crust and a creamy yogurt dip. Then for our main course, I ordered the Mastello lamb, which is marinated in red wine, garlic, and fresh thyme, then slowly roasted in a sealed clay pot for 6 hours, and served with mashed sweet potato. And Tom decided on the sea bass fillet, which is baked in vine leaves and served with baby potatoes and beetroot. The lamb was a massive portion and was quite tender, flavorful, and delicious. I couldn't quite finish the whole thing. The lamb and the Cretan Dakos were our favorites. The setting and the service was great too.
Now we'll make our way over to one of Ia's cliffside eateries. It's called Lauda Restaurant and has a 3 Michelin-starred French chef named Emmanuel Renaud. We entered atop the luxurious Andronis Boutique Hotel, which has a stunning outlook, and then we made our way down the approximately 90 stairs. Partway down, we briefly stopped to admire the spectacular views before continuing further down the steps past one of their swimming pools and another pool with a sun deck, umbrellas, and loungers, on our way over to our table on their dining terrace, where we had the whole place to ourselves.
We chose a table right at the front railing to get the most of the breathtaking panoramic vista, and ordered a couple of Alpha Greek lagers to drink. And then they served us a welcome bread basket with a loaf of freshly baked bread, accompanied by sun-dried tomatoes, olives, olive oil, and butter. For a starter, we shared the quinoa bowl with tofu, cucumber, cherry tomato, smoked salmon, shrimp, and a soy lime vinaigrette to finish it. The shrimps were huge, and the dish had a nice light and fresh flavor to it.
After that, it was time for our main course. Mike had the local red bream fillet with slow-cooked fennel and parsley sauce, and I got the chicken breast roasted with herbs, along with eggplant puree, onion pickles, and mushrooms. Both the chicken and the fish were terrific. We really enjoyed our meal here at Lauda. The food, the service, and the view were all exceptional. It's a great place to celebrate a special occasion. At night, they even set up a dining area around the pool. But let's continue. There's lots more to eat on our Santorini food tour.
We'll stroll about 3 minutes along Ia's main walking street to a bakery called Millennio Pastry, which also has a fantastic view. Just down at the bottom of this winding stone staircase, there's display cases full of appetizing cakes and tarts, as well as other traditional Greek favorites. But the best part is this amazing blue-domed church view, and we were lucky enough to get this perfect table right at the front of their patio, with some tasty Greek desserts to share.
We got a galaktoboriko, which has a custard center and phyllo pastry that's soaked in syrup, as well as the galatopita milk pie. It's a traditional Greek milk custard pie. My favorite was the galatopita. It was very creamy, but Mike preferred the sweeter galaktoboriko. In front of this patio, there's a busy walkway where people line up for their turn to take pictures. So it was really nice that we were able to relax here, eat some sweet treats, and enjoy this breathtaking view. We highly recommend Millennio. A little bit further along Ia's main walkway, we'll check out another place with a phenomenal view called Lotsa. It has a lovely covered back terrace with some more panoramic perspectives of Santorini. Once again, we were lucky enough to grab a table with a front row seat to enjoy the scenery. Even though it was a little bit early in the day, we decided to order a couple of Alpha beers since we were on vacation. Although we didn't have any food here at Lotsa, the view was gorgeous and the beer was cold. Now let's head over to Santorini's capital of Fira for some vegan and vegetarian food at Falafel Land. Mike got the giant Greek falafel wrap with olive sauce, feta cheese, tomato, lettuce, and fresh onions. And I chose the giant original falafel wrap with tahini sauce, pickles, tomato, lettuce, and fried aubergine. These falafel wraps were huge. tasty, and we thought they were a great value for Santorini.
The next place is also a budget-friendly option in Fira called Golden Grill House. It's a little bit outside the touristy area, so the prices are better. We ordered a couple of alpha beers to start, and then on the right is a chicken gyro wrap, and on the left is a pork gyro wrap. Both were quite hefty and loaded with meat, fries, tomatoes, onion, and tzatziki. I think these are the largest wraps we had in Santorini, and they tasted delicious too, even though they were a little bit messy. Both were completely loaded, with meat all the way through. And after our meal, we saw some donkeys passing by, and these cute little cats came over to the patio, just in time to be fed a big meal by the Golden Grill House staff. It looks like they enjoyed it as much as we did.
After that, we'll wander through the bustling streets of Fira on our way over to the next restaurant called Patisserie Tavern. They have an open-air terrace on the second floor, which gave us a view of Fira's rooftops. We started with a large bottle of water to drink. Then we shared a Greek salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, olives, onions, olive oil, and a large chunk of feta cheese. For our mains, we also shared this large plate of fresh fried calamari with a side of greens and dipping sauce, as well as a moussaka with minced beef and pork, eggplant, potatoes, and a creamy bechamel topping.
After squeezing on some fresh lemon juice and a dip in the sauce, the calamari tasted amazing and was cooked perfectly. The moussaka was excellent too, and somehow we managed to finish everything. Afterwards, we were given some complimentary sweet Greek wine, I think, which was a nice touch. We had a wonderful meal at Patisserie Tavern, but let's keep going and stroll a couple of minutes through Fira towards our favorite bakery in Santorini, which is called Sforonos Bakery.
Inside, there's lots of sweets on display, as well as some savory options too. There were so many mouthwatering choices that it was hard for us to decide what to get. We couldn't resist getting some more galaktoboroko with the creamy custard and syrupy phyllo pastry and the nutty and sweet baklava, two of our favorite Greek desserts. Both of these pastries were the best that we had in Santorini, so we'd highly recommend Sforonos Bakery. Now let's go check out a wonderful traditional Greek restaurant in Fira, which is called Tavernas. It's a family-run restaurant using only fresh, local products and has a quaint interior featuring some very lush trees overhead.
We sat down, had a look at the menu, and ordered a couple of large alpha beers while we decided on our food. We ended up getting a Greek salad with tons of feta cheese to start. And after that, we had the stuffed tomato and pepper, which are filled with rice and ground meat and come with a side of potatoes. We love stuffed peppers and tomatoes, and these ones were fantastic. That would have been enough, but we also got the pork souvlaki with rice, carrot balls, and potatoes, as well as some more moussaka, since we enjoy it so much. The souvlaki was a very generous portion and a good value too, just like all of our dishes. The setting was lovely, the service was great, and the food was excellent. We highly recommend Tavernas. Well, we hope you enjoyed our Santorini food tour. If you did, please like and subscribe, and check out our Santorini catamaran tour. And remember, take time to travel. Catch you on the next one.